No notes left. No, bring anything you want.
Hi, how are you?
This isn't Bill, but this is like moms and pops gave me this way.
All right. Question, anybody? Yeah.
A question for both Steve and the Gaithers. How many weeks a year are you on the road? And the other question is, when do you feel the most creative? When you're in retreat, or when you're out on the road, or can you tell me a little bit about that?
When I'm asleep, it's probably I'm weeks on the road. It would like be easy to have weeks off. Quite a bit. I mean, we're on quite a bit. In fact, my wife and I just got an apartment last week, and it was the first place that I've lived in 3 years. I mean, that's, yeah. So I would have a little room where I kept some stuff packed up with some friends, but yeah, that's the first place I've had for 3 or 4 years. A lot. It's like sometimes when we do interviews, the interviewer wants us to try and make our music out to be this is the one, or and that it belittles other types and stuff like that, or this is even the way to do a concert or something like that. And I started off, thinking, this is it and everything. And it doesn't take you long, maybe 24 hours in doing a concert or something, to realize that, there's no one way of doing things. There's no one way of doing concerts, and there's no one way to reach people. Like at first, I couldn't. When I was growing up, I couldn't understand the charismatic thing. And now I just realized that there's people that need a charismatic church, just like there's people that need a real hard-hitting intellectual approach and stuff like that. Just because we respond the same way with music.
That's the whole Charles one. To give toward the critics that are getting down on the different styles, like Amy moving into the top 40. I think what you just all three said is what I was trying to get.
We got a question here from Carol.
Yeah. You wrote a song that kind of addresses the Christian club idea, drinking milk from a Christian cow, that kind of thing. Would you comment on that while you wrote that?
Did I write that? The Guilty by Association is the song. Oh, yeah. I get into trouble with those songs because I guess by asking the question, people assume that I got a chip on my shoulder about something like that. I think that the actual thing that verse was commenting on was the idea of a Christian Yellow Pages, which of itself isn't a bad idea, right? It's just that when those things came out, I think in the East Coast, something like that, the B'nai B'rith Anti-Defamation League of the Jewish community sued the Christian Yellow Pages because they thought that they were trying to exclude Jews. And so, see, in the Christian community, stuff like that looks fine. On the outside, people don't understand that these Christians are trying to get all the money together, make a little club or something like that. And so that was the idea of that first song is we're going to keep all our money in the kingdom now and we'll only drink milk from a Christian cow. And so the idea of us trying to huddle together and leave out outsiders. So that was the idea.
Okay, we have to break for just a moment because the Gaithers have to be in Laramie, Wyoming, and they have to go. So we'll break for a commercial and be right back.
I have one for Steve Taylor. I admire your lyrics so much because I taught English and I taught poetry and song lyrics combined, and I think you're full of puns and wonderful. But I was with an older man at a table today. He has judged a lot of the newer music just because he can't understand the lyrics, which I think is unfair to people like you. Have you ever considered writing lyric sheets down and passing them out at the door?
Passing them out at concerts? I had that idea around once. The problem, at our concerts, they know all the words. They sing the words along and stuff like that. I suppose there's some people that would come that would be helpful to, but for most of them, they already know the words anyway.
The first concert I went, I had prior to your concert read the words, but a friend of mine, I had to explain every song to him.
Yeah.
Also, I wanted to ask you, do you lose weight during the concert?
Yeah, I think like about 3 pounds a night. It's bad.
And
I don't have a lot to lose either, so it's like
I lose more weight than you guys.
Are you finding churches as a whole resistant to this Steve Taylor fellow?
Well, I think rock and roll makes parents nervous, and that's kind of just what I've accepted. And it's like they don't mind Christian rock if it's tame enough, for them, and so they'll take them to some concerts, but not to others. And of course, as an artist, we keep pushing the boundaries and trying to try new things and stuff like that. So, I mean, if I suppose I could do things to get more church leadership to be involved and to want to bring their kids and stuff like that. But I'm not interested in doing concerts that are that use a lot of Christian language and stuff like that. You know, I'm interested in communicating to kids that are burnt out on Christianity or don't know what it's about, or church kids that come and their Christianity isn't lived in their lives. And I think that in order to do that, I can't use the same kind of language that they're already hearing in churches or they hear on the media and stuff like that.
I guess what I'm asking is, are you being misinterpreted perhaps by the church and then saying, oh, this guy's just a troublemaker, he's just here to make...
Well, the misinterpretation, that's something that really sucks from. People that come to the concerts finally, I mean, you would... what was your name again? Yeah, I think a lot of people are surprised that the gospel is presented as clearly as it is. I had a person call the other day who was in Christian leadership and, wanted to know why I didn't do altar calls and assumed that if I didn't do altar calls that I wouldn't preaching the gospel. And I said, well, have you ever come to a concert? Well, no. I said, well, maybe that would help because then you would understand what I'm doing. You want me to send you tape or something like that? Because that's when I find out what it's all about, So we're really, once people come to the concerts, then they feel a little more at ease.
It's to both Steves. The other gentleman had mentioned jumping on the bandwagon so much, and because of the popularity of MTV and other music video programs, do you feel that your music videos can really have an impact, or is it just kind of jumping on the bandwagon?
The first one I did, Meltdown, I didn't do to have a heavy spiritual impact or something like that. I look at my records as what's ongoing and what people take home, what they learn the words, stuff like that. So I use the Meltdown video as a way for hopefully people to buy the record. Now this next video is on a song called Lifeboat, which is set in a classroom, and it's about a teacher teaches her students how to play this game called Lifeboat, where there's 5 people in a lifeboat after a ship just went down, and the class is going to decide which 3 are going to be thrown overboard, little kids making life and death decisions. And even though it's a very satirical song and hopefully is kind of humorous, the message of that is important, and so hopefully that song will be more than just a promotional tool. It'll get a message across. Presents some interesting problems with costuming and stuff like that for me because I did it in a high voice, so I haven't gotten through that. We'll see what happens.